Showtime, Bitcoin moneymaker, every angle to get in the crypto game. Today I'm going to try to speed up a little bit and just walk you through kind of my day to day things and how I kind of fly through my process. I'm going to go through my lending. I had a lending video, if you check back, I think it was episode 1 or 2, that I have a lending math all set out. I have $10,000 rolling in Bitconnect and in Chain.Group. It's earning, the highest it's earned per day is $240. My exit is gonna start around New Year's. So the update on that is grown. I think the first day it earned 130 or 150. So it's grown to a daily of 240. Otherwise, I've been doing a little bit of trading. It looks like the market is gonna go up for Bitcoin, and it looks bullish right now. I'm gonna share some safety tips and a little bit about social media, what my process is. So going on here, this is TradingView. I think it's the best tool. Links are in the description for all this different stuff. Everything I use here I like using because I use it every day and it works great. So if we look over here, this is where you can add symbols for all your different coins. If you type in Bitcoin, you'll get all the different options for the different exchanges and different pairs. So I've added all the coins that I follow, and I kind of have an order of Bitcoin. This is BitMEX. This is where all the biggest future swaps is and the biggest volume for Bitcoin. So I follow that first, and that's where I trade. The next one's COINBASE, because that's just kind of a different type of exchange. It's just more of a fiat on-ramp. And it feels like the futures swap is kind of like a leading indicator, and it kind of moves faster because people are shorting and longing all the time. Then I have Bitcoin Cash, which I didn't care about because everyone hates on Bitcoin Cash. But after that huge spike recently, I listen to it as an contrarian indicator for Bitcoin. So if it goes down, Bitcoin goes up and vice versa. I like NEO. It went up a lot lately. I think it went up 40 or 50% over the last week. I own a lot of that. People always say it could be a scam. Everyone says everything's a scam. I think it's a good utility chain up there with Ethereum. Then I have Ethereum. So you see, like I have the major store of value or the major currencies and blue chip utility chains, which I think are important. I have Monero, which I think will be a blue chip spending coin for privacy. Then I have Arc. Metaverse, I don't know enough about. I just know it's a utility chain, and it could be another Neo type character. Waves and all the rest, and a bunch of other up and coming coins, Vertcoin, Grosselcoin, etc. So I just kind of order them in like what's important to see. And for me, it's always the big platform, the blue chips, and then like these other ones are kind of smaller bets for mining or other things. But I do like Vertcoin, and it's treated me well. But anyways, for Bitcoin, and I'll do this for any coin I kind of look at, I'll look at the daily chart and just look at the candle pattern. And I've learned a lot of this from Carter Thomas and a lot of this from Data Dash, Nicholas Merton. They're on Twitter and YouTube. And I'm going to go to Carter Thomas's Twitter at the end of this video. But I like the stochastic indicator. It's down here. It just gives 2 lines for kind of a leading indicator and a lagging one. And I just like it because it reacts faster than all the other indicators. There's the RSI people talk about. You can click up here and you can type all these different ones in: relative strength index, MACD. Everyone likes relative strength and MACD. I like the stochastic. I tried the stochastic RSI even, but I like the stochastic itself the best. Like sometimes I'll have both of these. So it's probably good to keep both of these and look at it. But you'll see it for the day. It looks like it wants to keep going up. The volumes kind of died off a little bit, and we can see we're flattening out a little bit into kind of an ascending wedge or a little flag. And all the traders, the sentiment seems like it wants to go up. It hit a high today of 81.50, and everyone's cheering for that. So once I go into the day, I'll look, if I'm day trading that day, I'll just kind of scooch into the time intervals. I'll make them tighter, and to the far we can see we're definitely coiling. And we got that bump up right there after that coil, after that sort of, I call it, it's a pennant, but it's almost like an ascending triangle. And you can see it got real quiet, and that's how it usually does. It gets quiet before the storm, and then it bumps. But you can see in the 4 hour, it's kind of calming down on the RSI and the stochastic. And then you can go into the hour, still look at the volume. It's kind of not doing much. You know, the last 5, 6 hours just kind of hanging there waiting for some action. Uh, it doesn't really look like it wants to go up or down too much. You can go in if you're day trading more to the 30 minute. I think this is like for the short term, it's a 50-50 right now, but everyone's pretty bullish. So I think it's gonna go. I think it's gonna hit 8,500 before it hits 7,500. But who knows? So and you can go further and further. And if you really want to day trade within, if you're only online for an hour or two, you can go. And this is more risky. The more you go, you can go into the minute and just see what's happening there. If you're gonna see right now, it looks like it's bottom out for the next minute, but that doesn't really say much. Anything can happen in a minute. So the next thing I'm going to go to is BitMEX. So this is where I'm actually in a trade. And you can see that I have bought some contracts for longs, 323 at 2 times leverage. So I'm being pretty wimpy. Usually if it's the bottom of a dip or an all-time high and I'm really sure it's going to go the opposite way, which isn't now, I'll be at like 5 times leverage or 10. And I can show you guys, I'm still pretty new to this, so that you're following a newbie journey. But if we go to, let's see, if we go here, we can see my account, and that's when I think I was withdrawing some stuff, depositing. But anyways, here, I think this is where you can actually start seeing it, is at 148. You can see I traded 150, 176. This is a really small amount. 219, you can see like lately I took some losses, but I'm being more conservative, and I probably should stop, but I'm just practicing, and this is a small amount of money. But I'm going to keep practicing. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm reading, and I'll show a PDF later of a hedge fund book I'm reading. I'm really trying to train myself to be really conservative with risk. So as soon as I put in an order, like this one, I did the entry price at 8,065. I immediately put a stop, and you can go up here, and I usually put a stop market like selected right now. And then if I put 323 and I've bought them and they're sitting here, if you go down, you can see the positions. So this is what I've bought, and this is my realized profit or loss, which is negative right now. But I put a stop, and that stop is a cushion. So if it goes to 78.33, I get called, and I think I'll lose. I usually do quick math on this stuff. I'm not so anal about it. It's about 5%. I try to limit any loss of trade to 5%. So if I get it wrong, I only lose 5% of what I put down. And my mentality too, from reading books and seeing other traders, like you only want to go in if you have a lot of certainty. I went into this because earlier today, I think I saw it go from 78 and then it hit the all-time high, and it really broke through 8,000 again with some authority. My feeling was just like, okay, like that's a strong indicator that we're going up. But I didn't do it with a huge amount of confidence and go times 10 or times 5 or times 25. I did it real conservative, and I put a cushion on the back in case it breaks. And again, this is me practicing. I'm trying to be very methodical and very conservative. I'm really not looking for this stuff. This is more for fun and just for training my emotions to be more solid. I have like the liquidation pop-ups come in here and all the recs on purpose constantly for every currency, just to keep my mind focused on not getting wrecked and not getting REKT wrecked or liquidated, and try to keep that focus. And I only want to go up to higher amounts of leverage and higher amounts down when I know it's the bottom of a dip and everybody's saying Bitcoin's dead, I'm switching to Bitcoin Cash or to cash. Why was I ever in Bitcoin? This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. That's when you want to leverage up times like 10 or 25 when it's the bottom of a dip, knowing, and still have a stop. Still have a stop in case you're wrong. But that's when you want to make a big bet, because you can ride that up 30-40%. On the last dip coming up on here, that's where I just showed you guys where I was at like 0.0148 to 0.219, whatever that gain was. That was all from the last dip to 5,500 or whatever, riding it up, which it doesn't take a lot of brains to do if you have studied the market and you've been in it for months and you've seen these dips. Like, you kind of get it. So if we go back here, it's we're gonna go back to the day. It's pretty predictable. So if you go to the day and you go out and you see the big dips, look at this. So this lasted a month and a half about, and that was the 3,000 to 1,700 one in summer. This was the China FUD. This is whatever 5,000 to 3,000. That lasted, I think, a couple weeks, and then this one that just happened lately, that happened in a couple days that it dipped and came back. So it's like we're half-lifing the dips. So they're getting, and they're each around 2 to 3 months apart. It's almost getting predictable. But if you follow all the traders and you listen to the emotions of the chat rooms and Bitcoin Talk Forum and Telegram groups like Whale Club and Coin Farm and the Data Dash Trading Group, if you and your personal coins that you like, because the altcoins get in fear too when Bitcoin goes up because they can get crushed. So if you put all that together, it's not that hard to know like your all-time highs and everyone's going crazy saying this is amazing, I can't believe this. You know, your aunt and your aunt's dog are going and buying Bitcoin, like crazy stuff is happening. Then you know it's probably time to start looking at putting stops in to sell out, to tether, and to either go to maybe an alt or go to tether or go to fiat and then wait for that drop or short on the way down if you've got balls. That's a place I want to be, where I am doing conservative margining when I know the market's really overbought or really oversold. So then moving on, I usually check out, as Trevon James would say, the markets on CoinMarketCap, and I just casually like whiz through. I don't really pay too much attention. I just want to see, because not everything is on TradingView, and maybe I'll type in some coins like I bought some Syndicator, and maybe I'll go look at that really quick because it's not on TradingView, and I'll just look at the chart and see like, hey, is there any action? And the answer is no, there's not really any action today. Stuff like that. The other one I like is Trending, gainers and losers, and then I just go through the 7-day for the gainers. I mean, the losers, if you own that coin, you're gonna feel the hurt, so you don't even really have to check it for that. But it's nice to see, like especially if coins are low market cap and you start seeing them winning on here, like Power Ledger. I mean, that may be worth checking out because now it's at 60 million. Once it gets past 15 million and it's on this list, it's probably worth checking out if you don't know much about it. Like, I've heard EOS is doing well lately. Like, I haven't even had to look at this. Once things get to 50 million, you'll hear about it whether you want to or not. It's the gems are at like 15 to 30 million. That's when you can get the Neblios and the Walton chains and stuff like that that hasn't blown up yet. And usually in the losers list, I don't know any of these. And as you can tell, most of them are tiny. Moving on, this is, I don't know his name, it's Luke something, but he's Venture Coinist on Twitter, and he's a good trader. It seems like he's pretty respected. He's another guy to follow, but he just came up with this tool. This is new. He's trying to make this into his own kind of more hardcore CoinMarketCap for traders. It's /markets, I believe. Yeah, the coin screener. So I just like this because it pulls in data from TradingView, and you can just get top gainers and things like that for a week or for a month, and you can go and you can see people that are overbought or oversold. So it's like a quick way, instead of going through TradingView like before, like marching through each coin that you like. You may find coins you can't see. The only downside is you have to memorize all these coin tickers, whatever you want to call those symbols. And you can see they have all the different exchanges and everything. So this is interesting. He's going to grow this out, and I'm really interested in these sorts of tools because there aren't many yet out there. But I mean, as you can see, it's a very primitive tool right now, but it's helpful, and it's something I want to be better at using as time goes on. And then the hedge fund book I'm reading to try to get my risk levels down so I don't turn too much of a amateur cowboy. And I look at the main point of this book is saying, whenever you make an investment, you want the lowest risk for the highest gain ratio. You don't want to just look at what is a high gain and that's it. And I think a lot of people, especially in cryptocurrency that are new, only look at that and they get sucked into the ICOs, or they get sucked into things that go up 200% a day by a whale and then they get slaughtered. So I'm trying to have that mindset, and that's why in this book they even said he tried to only do a 10 to 20% loss on any huge trade. He put a stop loss. He would never tolerate, because losing capital will kill you so much more than missing out on some gains. You never want to try to, you want to try to never lose capital. So it's a good book. It's from 1999, so some stuff seems a little outdated, and there's a lot of stuff in stocks and bonds that don't affect cryptocurrency markets, which I'm just glossing over, but it's a good book. And I think on Quora, I just typed, where the best swing trading and hedge fund books, and there's a whole list, but this one's been good. I'm trying to get through this one and a few others on swing trading, and then I want to study bots, and maybe like if I buy Gunbot, I'll show you guys that, and I'd like to get good at bots. And moving on to the lending thing, again, this is one of my first or second videos. I went through a whole math. It's a huge risky thing. It's going for a Mike Tyson first round knockout home run hit. It's to exit with profit on a 3-month timeline, putting in $10,000, and Bitconnect is about 30%, Chain.Group is 60% of my portfolio. Two other ones died, BitPetite and COINBASE, and they were 5% each, and they were like my steroid kicks, and they were super risky. They died, but it's still growing pretty well, and I made those other ones so small because I thought there was a good chance they would die, and all this is with money I'm willing to lose. I have no debt. I don't have any huge money obligations. I'd live way below my means, and this is just part of my portfolio. So if you guys out there doing this sort of thing, like, I wouldn't follow me exactly. I would just pay off all your debts, be financially secure, maybe put a $100 loan into Bitconnect and get your money out right away. Like, I'm really going super aggressive. So anyways, here, this is a really like bad example day. I got 35 bucks the other day. I got 70. We can go check out the rates right here. I'm sure you guys may have seen this on other videos if you're already following me, but this is Bitconnect, and they say they have a trading bot, and they lend their coins out, and their trading bot goes and uses that value to go to exchanges and make interest. I don't know, maybe trading Bollinger Bands or whatever they do to get money. Maybe there is no trading bot. I don't know. But you can see the interest a couple days ago was pretty good, 1.95. That's when it was really high, 1.5. And you can see it's kind of gone down. Usually once every couple days their interest craps out, but it averages the last 30 days 1.03, which isn't that bad. And if you compound it, again, on one of my other videos, I think episode 1 or 2, you can see how the math works out. Compounding every day gets pretty crazy. It grows exponentially. So I'm going to get out of this, but you can see the loan rates. You definitely want to try to get to 1,000 because you get that 0.1. If you get to 5,000, you get 0.2, and that really matters in compounding. When you're compounding daily, an extra 0.1 is a big difference over time. So I'm going to just reinvest. I'm reinvesting daily. Again, I had like 70 some bucks the other day. My high is 240 for a day, and now today it's only going to be down because this lending volatility, whatever you want to call it, now it's going to be down to probably 190 bucks today, and I'm going to start pulling out when I get to 500, 4 or 500. So that should be around New Year's. So bang, I'm going to reinvest this. It's only in denominations of $10, so 30, 40, 50. The rest gets left over. So I'm going to go over to Chain.Group. This is the other one that's still left. And you can see this one, I put more money in. Actually, we'll go to Bitconnect. We'll show you. Go down here. That's my total investment. And they just changed this. Usually it would show, but now it's annoying. So I've earned that much. I've earned 845 bucks. I think I originally put in 35.90 on here, and now it's this high. I started October 1st, by the way. So then we'll go over to Chain.Group. So that's like 4,000 something now. This one's 7. So I have about 12,000 principal, and I earned 160 a day. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna invest this. Never mind. Trade groups. There we go. So I'm gonna invest it in Dragon Foundation, and the reason for that is they usually, if I hit this 30-day profit, let's go down real fast. I'm going to plan on investing in Xbox, but they have a 250 minimum, and they only last 90 days for a lease. You don't get back your principal. With Bitconnect, you do get back your principal. But the thing is, this offers such higher interest. Daily interest 3 right there. Last 30 days 79. I mean, that's such a huge punch, and I'm trying to get this snowball rolling fast. my whole plan is if this works and the money comes out of it, I'm going to use money from these platforms to go into the second generation of ones like USI Tech, Hextra, and whatever comes out and stays strong. I think these will last long enough that this will happen. When I did this calculation originally in late October, I thought this whole plan had a 70% chance of working. But once this gets rolling, it can keep rolling. So I'm going to invest into Dragon Group until I get 250 a day. And when I get 250 a day, I'll start putting it in XBots because it has such a high percentage. But this one has 180 days, so your principal will last twice as long. But this interest, like, I want my money to get back in and punch as soon as it can, so I'm gonna go for this when I have the opportunity. So I'm gonna go and I just copy paste in here, and that should do that. And I do plan, once I start pulling out profits, I think in mid-March is when I'm really gonna pull out profits, because once I get recoup in late January, I'm gonna let it roll and reinvest, so I get $1,000 a day starting in mid-March. And this is if these last. I'm praying every day that they do. I'm gonna start giving away 1% of that profit on my channel every day in the comments, in like a random comment or figuring out something smart. And as my investment grows, that 1% will grow every day. So we'll see how that turns out. It could get pretty crazy, but we'll see. And on the last part of the video, I just want to go over security really quick. There's 4 easy things for security. I recommend you guys use Brave browser. It's right here. It's made from the guy, I think, that made Firefox, and it's just a much more secure version that comes with blocking internet trackers and ads. So this is good for hackers or governments or anyone else that may want to do surveillance or stuff without telling you. I just think it's a good idea to have all this stuff. So I'd use Brave browser, and I would use Nord VPN. So the VPN switches your IP address, so when the site checks you out, or any site checks you out, or anyone's trying to follow you, they don't know what IP you're from, I guess, unless they're a super hacker. But you can change what country you're in, which is great for different exchanges or ICOs that don't allow United States IPs, so I can change it to any one of these bubbles in any of these countries and it'll switch over. And it also has, even if you want to get real crazy, it has a kill switch. So if this VPN closes for any reason and you lose a connection, then it closes the browser, which is nice. So I don't know, if you want to be really secure. And another thing is, so you got the browser, you got the VPN. Another thing is to use encrypted email. I like Proton Mail from, it's made in Switzerland, but I guess it gets contributions all over the world. And I just think it's a nice extra layer to have your email encrypted, especially if you keep like all these exchanges that are giving you emails that may have sensitive information. I think it's good to have. There's probably more stuff I'm forgetting right now. Oh yeah, for a wallet, use a hardware wallet. Use a Trezor or a Ledger. If you use a web wallet or any stuff like that, or leave your stuff on exchanges, it can get hacked easier. If you have a web wallet on your phone, you lose your phone, someone can hack that phone and get into it easier. Or on your desktop, if you have a desktop wallet. If you have a hardware wallet, at least they have to get through the PIN, which will take some time. And if you know that your hardware wallet's lost, you have time to buy a new one and get all your funds out, because they'll have to crack that PIN. So at least you have that time. At least on Trezor, every time they guess the wrong PIN, it doubles the time to guess. So they don't have that many chances by the time you get a new one. So I'd recommend having a hardware wallet and even having an empty backup one in case you lose your real one. And this is especially not until you have like at least, $1,000 worth of crypto. But once you get to 1,000 or more, I'd highly recommend it. And then this is Carter Thomas's Twitter, and I would just go to who he's following, and I would just try to get all the chart guys. Try to avoid the ones that just crack jokes about themselves and want attention. Try to stick to the guys that actually give valuable stuff. Some guys try to, once they start getting some followers, they try to be a comedian the whole time instead of giving value. Like, I get that, but it's got to be more value than dumb tweets, you know? So, yeah, keep following. I hope the lending keeps growing. I hope you guys all trade safe and trade well. As always, the rest is up to you.